What if I told you that you have never actually seen the world as it truly is? Everything you see, the colors, the depth, the movement, is just a controlled hallucination. Your brain isn't a window looking out at reality. It's a filter built for survival, and it has been editing your truth every single millisecond of your life. Take a deep breath and look around you. Everything you see, the sharp edges of objects, the vibrant colors of the world, the solid ground beneath your feet, feels undeniably real. But here is the truth that science is only just beginning to grasp. You are not seeing the world. You are seeing a dashboard. Think about a pilot in a cockpit. They see lights, dials, and screens. They don't see the actual fuel flowing through the engines or the complex aerodynamics keeping the plane in the sky. If they tried to process that raw data, they would crash in seconds. Your brain is exactly like that pilot. Evolution didn't design your eyes to show you the truth of the universe. It designed them to keep you alive. Why see the intricate atomic structure of a chair when all you really need to know is that it's hard and you can sit on it? But ask yourself this: if your brain hides the true complexity of reality just to make it digestible, what else is it hiding? Is what we call the physical world just a simplified icon on a screen? And if we could turn off this filter, would we be able to perceive the true nature of existence, or would our minds simply shatter from the infinite chaos? Consider the color red. You believe it exists out there in the world, but physics tells us there is no such thing as color. There are only electromagnetic wavelengths. Your brain takes these raw, meaningless vibrations and paints them into the vibrant experience you call red. Now, if your brain is inventing colors, textures, and sounds to make sense of a silent, colorless universe, who is to say that everything else you perceive isn't a similar fabrication? This leads to the most unsettling question of all. Are you actually experiencing reality, or are you just witnessing a high-fidelity simulation generated by your own neural circuits? If your consciousness is merely a biological antenna tuning into a local frequency of perception, then the reality you cling to is nothing more than a private dream. You are locked inside a skull, receiving electrical pulses from nerves, and building an entire universe out of them. If you could step outside of your own senses, what would you find? Or is it possible that there is no outside at all, and that you are forever trapped in a cage of your own biological design, mistaking the shadow of the world for the world itself? So, where does this leave you? If your perception is a construct and your reality is an interpretation, then the walls of your prison are made of your own assumptions. Most people live their entire lives without ever questioning the interface they were born into. They accept the map as the territory and the shadow as the substance. But the moment you realize your brain is lying to you, the game changes. You are no longer a victim of your senses. You become an observer of your own biology. The question is no longer what is real, but rather, who is the one behind the eyes, watching the show? If you are ready to stop watching the simulation and start seeing the truth, then you are closer than you have ever been. Wake up to the signal and look beyond the illusion. The universe isn't just something you see, it's something you are. If your perception is a construct and your reality is an interpretation, then the walls of your prison are made of your own assumptions. Most people live their entire lives without ever questioning the interface they were born into. They accept the map as the territory and the shadow as the substance. But the moment you realize your brain is lying to you, the game changes. You are no longer a victim of your senses. You become an observer of your own biology. The question is no longer what is real, but rather, who is the one behind the eyes, watching the show? If you are ready to stop watching the simulation and start seeing the truth, then you are closer than you have ever been. Wake up to the signal and look beyond the illusion. The universe isn't just something you see, it's something you are. Think about it. Every memory you hold, every person you love, every fear that keeps you awake at night, it's all being rendered in real time by a 3-pound organ hidden in the dark. It's not just observing the world. It's aggressively sculpting your experience to make sure you survive, not to make sure you understand. But what if survival is the very thing holding you back from truth? What if the limitations you feel, the moments of anxiety, the feeling of being trapped, are actually glitches in the matrix of your own consciousness, signaling that you're outgrowing the biological software you were programmed with. You aren't just a spectator in this show. You are the architect of your own perception. And the moment you decide to doubt the screen, you begin to see the code. Are you brave enough to look behind the curtain? Or are you too afraid of what you might find when the illusion finally fades? This isn't just philosophy, it's a fundamental shift in your existence. When you stop blindly trusting your senses, you strip away the digital mask reality wears. Imagine for a second, if your brain is an editor, what happens to the footage it chooses to delete? What signals, what truths, and what dimensions are being discarded before they ever reach your conscious mind? You aren't just missing pieces of the puzzle. You are living in a fragment of a universe, mistaking the sliver for the whole. The next time you feel the weight of reality pressing down on you, remember, it is not the world acting upon you. It is your own mind, echoing your own expectations back to you. The question remains, when the illusion finally breaks, will you be ready to face the raw, unfiltered truth, or will you run back to the comfort of the lie? The veil is thin. Once you see the strings, you can never go back to being the puppet. You are not just a passenger in this universe. You are the universe, observing itself through a localized lens of consciousness. The question isn't whether reality is real, but how much of it you are brave enough to shape. This is just the beginning of the awakening. If you are ready to dismantle the illusion and explore the frontiers of what it means to be alive, then you belong here. Subscribe to True Life. Tune into the signal. The truth is waiting, but only for those who are brave enough to look.